Hello and welcome to Funny Recaps. This is Iron Man from 2008, which most people would argue started the franchise. Tony Stark is in a military convoy in Afghanistan, cracking jokes like he's at an open mic night. Before they get their selfies with Stark, they are attacked. A missile lands right next to him, and it's got his name on it. It literally says Stark Industries. We flash back to 36 hours before the attack, where he is meant to be accepting an award. Instead, he is having fun in the casino, refusing to take things seriously. He has some fun with a reporter, then gets his assistant, Pepper Potts, to kick her out afterwards. Tony then meets up with Rhodey and heads to Afghanistan for his sales pitch for the Jericho missile, which levels an entire mountain range. Stark enters the convoy, and we catch up to where he gets rescued and saved by Yinsen, who uses an electromagnet attached to car batteries to stop any shrapnel from going into his heart. The bad guys, the Ten Rings, tell Tony, "Build us a missile and we'll totally let you go." Tony instead builds a tiny arc reactor to power his chest magnet to get rid of the car battery. He also builds a big ol' metal suit in secret. Their captors are like, why does this missile look like a man? The bad guys catch on. Yinsen goes full hero mode with a one-man spray and pray distraction. Tony powers up the suit like a medieval iron Pokemon. Yinsen doesn't survive the escape and tells Tony to carry on. He bursts out of that cave like a vengeful microwave, flamethrowers everything, burning the weapons, and flies into the sky, runs out of power, and crashes. Rest in peace, Mark I armor. Rhodey finds him and takes him home. The first thing on his priority list is getting a McDonald's, then announces Stark Industries is done making weapons. Obadiah Stane is not happy, and explains he just destroyed their entire business model. Tony holes up in his man cave and starts building a sleeker, sexier suit. He also upgrades his chest piece. Pepper saves the old one in a display cabinet. Obadiah's like, "Hey Tony, what you working on down there? Just curious, for no reason. Not like I want to sell it to more terrorists." Tony, now having trimmed the systems for flight, tries out the suit himself before running any tests. He almost Icaruses himself when flying too high, and almost falling to his death. Tony goes to a charity event he is funding to get a lay of the land. Christine the reporter shows up from before, and drops a truth bomb like, hey, your weapons are being used to wipe out entire villages. Turns out the Ten Rings got a care package from Stark Industries, and they're using it to wreck Yinsen's hometown. He suits up in his brand new hot rod, red armor, flies to Afghanistan, and proceeds to play God, killing all the bad guys and saving all the refugees. When flying home, the US Air Force declares him a UFO and tries to shoot him out of the sky. Rhodey calls Tony to see if he is involved. First he denies it, but then gets stuck, so admits it's him. He accidentally takes out a plane, but saves the pilot, so the army's like, okay, you get a pass. The Ten Rings collect Tony's old suit like it's rare loot, and Obadiah Stane turns up looking to buy and reverse engineer it. Tony convinces Pepper to infiltrate Stark Industries, and they find out Obi's been selling all the weapons to terrorists and hired them to kill Tony from the start. He gets angry when William is like, we can't build the power source, so he steals Tony's out of his chest like he's robbing an organ bank. Tony, crawling around like a dying Roomba, finds the old reactor Pepper saved for him. Tony pops that sucker back in when Rhodey shows up, so he gets to show him his project finally. He then heads out to confront Robo-Stane. Obi's now in the Ironmonger suit, which is like Tony's armor, but on 100 cans of Red Bull. They fight everywhere. It's robot WWE with billion-dollar suits. Tony's suit is losing power faster, so he tells Pepper to overload the giant arc reactor beneath the building. A huge surge comes through the building. Obi gets thrown into the reactor and it explodes. The next day, Agent Coulson with S.H.I.E.L.D. preps Tony with a totally fake cover story about how he wasn't involved and it was all fake. Tony gets to the podium, pauses dramatically, and says, "I am Iron Man." One of the greatest improvised lines in the MCU history. The start of the post-credits, Nick Fury appears and says, "You think you're the only superhero? Welcome to the club, Tony." And that, my friend, is Iron Man from 2008, a movie that kicked off a cinematic universe that would one day include hero trees, talking raccoons, flying hammers, and dancing to save the universe. My favorite scene would have to be when Pepper walks in and he says,
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've got.